We
I know a
have
lot of good donut spots.
shops in Prescott. So what is your favorite donut shop? We've got what Outlaw. We've got
Yes, I done the Outlaw Donuts. I've done the Outlaw Donuts. Daylight Donuts is here. Ooh, they're
yep. Oh, looks like we lost him. So we've also got that brand new one going in. There he is. Up. I see his coffee.
Oh, do you see my coffee? Okay,
Saw your
sorry. I didn't.
coffee.
I thought I messed up.
No,
But look at this, guys.
I see your coffee. Yeah, we lost you for a minute, but we're talking about Daylight, and then there's that new one going in on Gurley. So apparently, Prescottonians love their donuts.
Yes, and that's a good thing because if it wasn't for donuts, it would be like it didn't save my life.
Because like 5 years ago, we had no donuts. Now it's like donuts everywhere.
Yeah, it's like a 7-Eleven in Phoenix. It's on every corner.
Exactly. Well, good. So what else? So I've got some. I've been reading a lot of local news, and so definitely have some updates. But what do you got?
Eric, we ended up getting a bunch of updates from Mayor Megarelli as far as like the COVID-19. It's still doing a steady pace. I actually heard a report. Was it you that said it last night that almost all the beds are full? That's kind of like news to me. I didn't actually see that, but let's talk about that. That's actually kind of concerning. At the same time, it's I mean, we this is one of the things that we didn't want to see. So
So
what were you?
yeah, there was an article that 12 News in Phoenix put out last night. And we're just trusting them as a source, right? I don't know if it's true or not. I'm guessing it is. But so first and foremost, Yavapai County Health said that we do not have COVID patients in the hospital right now. Maybe that's changed over the last couple of days, but as of 3 days ago, we didn't have any COVID patients in Yavapai County hospitals. But 12 News reported yesterday that there was a spike across the state, and the average is that 9 out of 10 ICU beds are full right now statewide. And so that's not
Wow.
the trend we're seeing here in Yavapai County, but that's alarming that they're saying 9 out of 10 average beds in the ICU are full right now, and there's a spike in the coronavirus. So we don't want that here. So I mean, hopefully people are being smart and doing the right things and just be smart. I mean, we don't have to go back to lockdown. I mean, that's scary that there's a chance that we may be trending back that way. So just be smart now. We don't have to go through it. So I'm just begging everybody, please, go back to your norm, but be smart about it.
Yes, please do. I mean, even it's still concerning because I was talking to our mechanic yesterday. Shout out to them. Thank you very much for all the love and appreciation for what you guys do. But their son their son has. They said that there was COVID inside of the building that he was in, so they had to lock him down. So that was my concern is like, when they assume or acknowledge that you're around somebody with the COVID 19, that it basically places you out. You get put into a position, you get put into a place, and that's 14 days. Like you go into quarantine for 14 days. So,
I've got
um,
family members, they go to the doctor, and guess doctors don't want to see people right now, but if you absolutely have to go to the doctor, they then say, okay, you're not going anywhere for 14 days. So you're coming to the doctor, and then you need to quarantine for 14 days. So even if there's no association, that's what they want you to do, go to the doctor.
yeah. So, long story short, like this is very, very real, very scary on how they're wanting to treat it. As far as like if they find you, with COVID, are you prepared to go ahead and lock yourself down for 14 days? I mean, this is a crazy question, but once again, they're still advocating that the coronavirus is a very, very sickening virus. So, I don't, once again, Eric, I am not that guy that knows anything about these little things that go onto your body and just make you sick. I
Yep.
wish I wish I would have stayed in that class, but I obviously missed that. Probably ditched, man. I ain't gonna lie. Probably ditched that day.
Probably a good thing, because I mean these things are creepy, right? I mean
They are, man. It's
zoom in
scary.
pictures of the virus is. It's like, what the heck alien planet is that from?
Really, I mean, it's just out there, and if you actually like look into it, it's just like, you ever see that one video of the happy micro that is carrying your cell on this like stream? It just sits there and it looks like a stick man. It's like walking, and it's like they call it an endorphin or something like that, and it's actual micro however say you say it, where they show it. It's freaking awesome, man. But biology is, I guess it's biology, but anyways, it's freaking amazing to see stuff like that and to see that this is the thing that you can't see that's actually really, really like hurting our economy right now. It's that's actually scary. An
Stuff you
unseen.
can't see. Yeah, I swear, I'm pretty sure I can see them. I look at things. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I see them.
I mean, like every time I put my lips on a cup like this,
Exactly.
I'm like, I
Germ-
see it. I see it.
I know they're crawling
But
around there. Yeah.
But Eric, what are you scared most of? Are you scared of the virus, or are you scared of the chemical?
Oof, they're both pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah, see, I can't compare apples to apples, man.
you
Sometimes
know
I'm
I'm in you know I'm in tech, right? And so I compare everything to tech. And every time that we make just a little change to software, we call it the butterfly effect. It breaks like five other things you could never even think of. And so I have to think that biology and the rest of the world is the exact same way. So you solve one little problem and create five new.
for the doctors that are heading this up. So, I mean, there's
There's
one
good
thing that
news.
we got to.
There's good news here right now, right? The mayor, Mayor Larry, his post was, everything's still positive. It just doesn't. What's going on statewide doesn't seem to reflect what's going on here right now. So let's keep it that way.
Yeah. And we're having a little bit of I feel like our community is unrest. A lot of communities are unrest right now. I actually have a post in the Prescott group right now. A guy has a sign on the back of his window that says "Stop Racism," and everybody was like, "Yes, yes, we are on the same level." So it's good to see people kind of uniting as one to stop racism. And we do have a racism scenario in all likes, walks, and manners, whether you're a person of color or if you're not a person of color. I think everybody has a color, so we all matter. And when I say that, I mean it because we all do. And every time I walk out these doors, I don't care the color of your skin, you matter, my friends. And we say that, we preach it all the time. We actually advocate towards loving everybody and acknowledging that everybody exists and everybody deserves to be here. And I feel like if there is a fight that we have to fight, it's going to be against corrupt and people that are actually mean. There's a difference of nice people and mean people. I know that for a fact, and I don't know if we should call. I think everybody would like a nice person. I mean, how about you, Eric? Do you like mean people? you like
We talked about this a week or two ago. It doesn't hurt anybody to be a good person.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
100%.
cost anything either to be a good person.
Yeah. Eric, today we obviously always like to talk about, what's happening in the city of Prescott. I think that let's talk about what our progression is as far as us being an individual. Now, when we sit here, we think about, what are we going to do tomorrow? And me and you have been chatting about where the Prescott Times is going to be and how it should go ahead and be established as far as an active product for the community of the area. The 863 guys, and so this is a progression that I like to think about. I don't like to think about all this other stuff that's actually happening in our world right now and I don't want to be like ignorant towards it, but at the same time, I feel like my focus and our focus is to go ahead and keep on climbing up that ladder of success, just to see that our children, our children's children, and everybody there has something to live for. So, I mean, Eric, like yesterday, let's go ahead and go through a day of Eric. We're gonna put you on blast today, my friend, and not saying blast, but I just want to know how do you prepare your day, and how do you actually separate the things that you do all day long?
It comes down to the schedule, San Martin. I mean, when I wake up, I've got, I catch up on what's going on in the news and everything so that we can have these talks in the morning. But everything is scheduled. And it jump meeting from meeting to meeting. And it's funny because they used to be running around in a car, right? And now they're digital. I actually had a couple trips yesterday. We were looking at office space and things like that, to move our office. But most everything's just digital, and it's just you jump from meeting and meeting and meeting and do these video chats. It's exhausting, but you got to do them,
Yeah,
right? You got to do them.
yes, most definitely. Now let's talk about what brings success. One of the things is that motivation is everything. If you don't get up, you're not going to get anything done. So tell me, what motivates you every morning to get up and do the things that you do?
I don't know. I mean, it's just that I don't know. I mean, certainly family, certainly, just doing good, putting out. I definitely want to say that we've got to do a positive output to the world, right? I always ask people that. It's like, okay, what things are you doing to positively affect the society and the world around you? Like, what things are you contributing? I guess that's the best word.
Yeah,
I've done patents. I try to, employ people. I try to create products. Try to invent things. I try to create systems and technology to make people's lives better. And I think that has impact outside of what I am. And I think that the payoff comes right when you do things like that. When you're out there doing things to benefit other people and make their lives better and easier, then there'll be a payoff coming down the road. You don't just do it for money, right then and there kind of thing. And if you do those kind of things, they add up and they go in your bank and they just, and they make the world better around you. And if you're not doing things for other people or improving, the world, leaving your mark on it by, hey, I improved somebody's life, that then you're just here. You're just not doing anything. You're just idle. And I think that keeping that thought is motivation enough.
excuse me, Eric. I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Well, the so the reason why I ask this is that sometimes we like to focus on what is actually happening here locally in Prescott because that's obviously why we put this together. But sometimes it's good to go ahead and get down deep inside of what actually motivates us, and what motivates me to wake up every day and actually do something for community or even for this world or even for myself is that I have been allowed to wake up. And I take that as my first gift ever. And the reason I take that as my first gift because obviously tomorrow's never promised, my friends.
That's
And
correct.
when you feel that vibe that I feel is like we know for a fact that tomorrow's never promised, and if you act like that on a regular basis and you want to go ahead exactly how life should be, if you're here, you're supposed to be an active member of whatever like location you're in, whether it be your family, whether it be your friends, whether it be your business, whether it be things that you do on a regular basis. Like we all have a role here in our God-given world that we are living. And I feel like that, what, when we wake up, that's our chore, is to figure out how to go ahead and make ourselves a better person every day.
And San
So
Martino, I love your story. Just so I've definitely given you props and kudos to the whole thing. And one of the best quotes I think I've ever heard, and this came out of my business community, which is most people die at 30 and they're not buried until they're 80.
yeah,
And I think some people like yourself can say that they woke up at say 30 and
yeah,
and really started living life at that point.
yeah. And then, Eric, there's a purpose. At the age of 18, 19 years old, I actually realized that there is a purpose for me being who I am and where I've been, and to kind of grasp all that information that I've ever been. Once again, I didn't grow up a very a good man, a person, but I realized that changing was at the age of 18, 19, when I started getting into the grown up life. That's kind of where I found Jesus. I'm going to say, guys, I don't do separation of church and the Prescott Times because that would be kind of foolish of me, but I did. I found it, and then I realized that you know we kind of cool to be able to sit here and listen to your story as what makes you want to go ahead and be a progressive person in our awesome community. And it starts with us, Eric. And if we go out there, like I go to locations, I go to places, I talk to everybody, and I tell you what, it's been some of the coolest conversations I've ever had in a long time, where I could actually have a full-on conversation, and I didn't care about their religious beliefs, I didn't care about the the places they've been. I didn't care about any of that. And what really differentiates how do you say that,
Differentiates.
differentiates a person as I think is the character that they project. So anyways,
And you talk about character as a whole, like community, right? I hear so many people talk about Prescott as their getaway or their safe place. We even heard. I remember when a neighbor moved in a few years ago. They're like, "This place is like Pleasantville. Like everybody waves and everybody smiles, and you know." and they were kind of creeped out for it, at first because it's really weird when you're not
Yeah.
here for a long time. But then when you get used to it, I hope we never lose that.
Yeah. Well, you guys are in Mayberry. That's what
Right,
it calls.
right,
Everybody knows
Mayberry,
everybody.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody, and that's exactly how I've grown here in Prescott. Is that I realize that obviously I've done good, I've done bad, I realize that being a bad boy is not a good thing because that's not a right thing for communities to enjoy or actually be a part of. It just brings chaos and it brings uncertainty to some people. So I left that life because that wasn't the life for me. So I realized that community is everything, especially I mean, you just take care of the people that are around you, no matter who they are. And, if I see a nana or a tata out there, and mijo means son. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm actually calling them a son, but at the same time, I'm actually old enough to call people sons. So I kind of consider my life to be, I also have a nickname called Theo Mijo. Tio Mijo, it's also known as Uncle Martin, Uncle Son, Uncle Mijo.
I
But
love it. You can go by that everywhere.
yes, exactly. So when I go out there, guys, I actually try to produce, this type of interaction. Um, you know, I am actually human too. I do have disagreements on some things and some people, and that's my prerogative, I guess. But I don't try to impress it or push it onto people to go ahead and publicize my agenda unless I have to. So I stand up. I stand up for those. Eric, when I was younger, I actually did that in high school when there was like what people used to call nerds. I know everybody knows about that. When people call nerds, there was a guy I think I could go ahead and say his name, Travis. And Travis was a little scrawny guy in high school, man. Really, really scrawny, bro. And he was just talented. He was very like outgoing. He was very energetic. One day I get into PE class, man, and these guys are picking on him. They took his wallet or his shoe or something and kept on tossing it. You know that game where, hey, bro, and then they throw it at each other. They keep on throwing it at each other. I walk down into the locker room and I see this, and I walk right up there and I push one of the guys and I take the shoe. I said, "What are you guys doing?" And so this is just one of many stories of where I just helped out people that just couldn't help themselves at that moment in time. So that's kind of how I feel that I am today. Is that I want to help those that are 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 on both sides of the fence, I guess you would call it, that are trying to go ahead and come into a mutual community where everybody meets in the middle and everybody's like happy to be with each other. So I kind of feel like I'm an advocate for that. But that's basically how I used to treat and help people out when I was in high school, Eric. I used to advocate for my buddies that didn't have that ability, I guess. So it made sense to me.
That's good. I love it. I love it. So hey, real quick before we shut the show down for the day, today's a big weather day, right?
Yes. Well, I didn't actually see the weather report, but I do know that a lot of wind is coming in. I heard somebody say that there was actually a weather front coming in.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's kind of like a monsoon. I guess we're supposed to get like a 10 to 20% chance of rain this afternoon, and it's only going to be 83 today.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm headed up to the mountains in Greer. So we are seeing that the temperatures are dropping to 43 to 32, 34 degrees.
Yeah, it's a statewide weather front for sure. But tomorrow it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, I think, 73 is the high here. You're going to miss it.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to miss anything, Eric. I'm not going to miss. Just kidding. I always miss my hometown, man. That's the best part about this location is that I always love coming back here. So that's why it's my home. So I want to take care of it. I want to make sure that everybody acknowledges that I'm here to take care of it.
And then I
And
got to
also to come.
notice another event was canceled. So for August, the Cowboy Poets Society, I guess they have a big event here where they bring a bunch of people into town with Yavapai Community College. Don't know much about the event. I know it comes every year, but it has been can't or at least postponed for until next year because of the ever changing CDC requirements.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this sucks because that actually has been a big event here locally in Prescott. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry to hear that, man. That's kind of sad. I think that a lot of people were also chattering that the rodeo will go on without an audience. Did you hear that little?
Oh, what? I hope not.
That would be. Don't
That
get
would
me
be
wrong.
good.
I think Cowboys would do whatever they want, man. But at the same time, you got to think about it. How are you going to have a rodeo with no audience?
So are I talking about streaming it? Because yeah, that you'd expect feedback. How is it just not practice if there's no audience?
It was from hearsay, my friend. It was from hearsay. So hearsay is a good thing.
And a
Here,
couple more events I got to ask you about. So I know Charlotte Hall Museum reopens today.
yes,
We were confused. So the movie in the park in Prescott, not Prescott Valley, is going forward today, right?
yes, it starts tonight. I think it was at 7:30.
Okay, so even though there's a curfew,
7:30.
it doesn't apply. No, it's still
It
open.
does not apply to the
Okay.
curfew. They got the green light. You guys can go ahead and hang out. It's going to be safe. It's going to be responsible. Get out there and um, go
And
out
Prescott
there
Valley
and
event
enjoy.
is today too, right? Another movie, another drive-in.
Yes, yes. So Prescott Valley both have their own little movie
You need
thing
to
for the
recruit some
families.
people to get some photos and some video of that. We missed it last week.
Yes, we will. We'll go ahead and put it out there saying, "Hey, send in your video of you going to said event." So we'll get those pictures up and running for the weekend, guys. So if you guys want to see what's happening, but also remember it's happening tomorrow night in Prescott Valley. So the drive-in movie theater is happening today and tomorrow night. Two
And the
shows.
casinos are open too, my friend. So, I'm not really a huge casino fan, but they are open for those people that have been waiting. They open June 1st. So if you want a night
Yep,
out,
yep.
they're open.
Bars are open too.
Bars are open too. So yeah, it seems like things are roaring here. We're getting a lot of people coming in from out of town for sure. A lot of people coming in from California because
A
California
lot, man.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming into town to get their hair done, their nails done, get out of California, man. It's freaking sad, but gosh, it's sad to see people that are kind of like get us out of here. We want freedom, so welcome. I mean, this is a place where the governor opened up the doors, so let's see what happens.
Cool. A couple other things. We have a car show tomorrow downtown too.
Yeah,
Yep. There's going to
which
be
one is this one?
at the square. It is going to be. Hold on here. It is the 21st, the third annual 21st Century Car Show, scheduled from downtown and Cortez Street downtown.
Okay, so that's where they block it off. All right,
So,
excellent, man. Those are
so
always
anybody,
so cool to
yeah,
see.
anybody who wants to be downtown or going through downtown, anybody local, you may want to skip that just because, or skip going through downtown if you can go around, just because
Yep.
it will be closed.
Yes, yes. Cortez will be closed. I think that Gurley Street stays open, and then everybody could
I
try
think so. But if you want to see some cool
utilize the
cars,
other.
there's gonna be last year there were 75 vehicles down there, so hopefully there'll be some. If you want to go actually see the cars, go downtown.
Yeah, 21st century. All right,
Yeah.
my friend. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the day. I got a couple hours of traveling to Greer, Arizona. I think it's 4.5 hours from here.
Hey, real quick, I have one more piece of good news.
Yes.
So J.C. Penney's announced all the stores that they're closing, and Prescott was not one of them.
Wow, that's a good thing. A lot of you J.C. Penney folk that like J.C. Penney's.
Yeah, yeah, they're closing the Cottonwood store, but they're keeping the one in Prescott. So I was shocked, but I'm thrilled to see that we're not going to have another empty store there.
I'm very happy with that. That's the best thing that's actually heard in a long time. But I also did hear that what was that? Hobby Lobby might be closing
I heard
or
that
is
too, but
closing.
I haven't seen any proof or like any official note on that.
I heard it yesterday. Once again, hearsay, my friends. So if you guys got any words, let me know. We'll go ahead and put that and post it. But having empty buildings is not a good thing. So
Nope.
let's see if we can get those filled up as soon as possible.
All righty, sir. You have a safe trip and say your.
I will. Yes, most definitely. Shout out to the local in Prescott, Arizona. So if you guys are hungry, come on down. Enjoy yourselves. This is a great place to get some Java. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll see y'all later.
Have a safe weekend. Hey, by the way, everybody, I'm going to be doing the farm thing with the grow something at some point this week. So cool. Thank you. Have a good weekend. You too. Be safe.